Good morning and welcome to Freedom News Archive. Freedom News Archive is 1 hour news magazine program that comes your way every Saturday on your frequency dial 87.9. Today is Saturday, September the 10th, and I'm Benjamin Quay Johnson presenting story making headline into the editions. Defense Minister Daniel Ziankan during the week cautioned politicians against allowing their bodyguard wearing military uniform during political rallies. U.S. Ambassador Neil Monrovia lauded the Liberian National Police for successfully apprehending Davis Waterspoon and two others for duping several citizens for American visas in Coward, New Georgia community. Strategic committee comprising of members and stakeholders of the President of Liberia during the week petitioned Julius Colma as consensus candidate to contest the PUS upcoming presidencies. We're taking a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you details of the stories making our today headlines. Let us take our first development into our news time. Defense Ministers Daniel Ziankan during the week cautioned politicians against allowing their bodyguard to wear military uniform during political rally. Speaking at the Ministry of Information regulatory briefing, Defense Minister Ziankan says it is impersonating for military uniform to be wrongly used by ordinary citizens and bodyguard of politicians. Here is Minister Ziankan speaking during the week.
Does not just go to the ordinary citizens, but like I said, the politicians. We will have the bodyguards and the aides wearing military style uniform. I don't know. Folks, we have decided to do, since it is not unconstitutional for you to do that, is for us to appeal to the commander-in-chief to come up with an executive order on that. And we are in the process of doing that. So I'm just giving the background to some of these things. And so we will try to look at that. And hopefully you try to spread the message that this is not a good thing to wear military style uniform. I'm no longer in the military. I do not really see it fit to just wear the jacket, to wear the boots, and then wear some t-shirt and take jaw ties and go and sit places. And sometimes some of these people, they do it for selfish reasons, either to fear people or to impersonate or to even harm other people wearing military style uniform. The reality of it is that there is no laws on the books that prevent you from doing it, but it's not healthy for the security of this country. Because if you, I'm saying you, not just you, but I'm just speaking in general. If you wore that and you went to a public space and misbehave, the security would be blamed for that. So we are appealing that, look, If you want to join the LIS, you want to join the military, please go through the process.
Meanwhile, Minister Ziankan released guidelines preventing personnel of the armed forces of Liberia from participating in politics ahead of the 2023 general and presidential elections.
As it relates to the 2023 general and presidential elections, it is critical. There has been questions about what would be the role of the armed forces of Liberia. My answer is simple, but I will get into that. In my left hand here, it is a code of conduct that was developed by General Johnson and I. And this is to direct or give some guidance to the men and women on how they should conduct themselves during elections period. Some of the regulations in here, and if they are broken, you will be subjected to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, or the UCMJ. So some of the guidelines that are in this code of conduct, and I guess the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces will use that because he and I developed this. Thankfully, he was my deputy at the time when I was Chief of Staff. You are not allowed to canvass in the barracks. You are not allowed to wear any political party paraphernalia. You are not to vote in uniforms because it will be seen as intimidation to other people. You are not to serve as bodyguard to any political aspirant, be it your cousin, your mom, your auntie. You are not to do that. Even if your friends or your family members were taking part in the political process, they should not bring their vehicles in our military barracks. These are just few of some of the things that we will be doing during the 2023 general election. But more besides that, the armed forces of Liberia will be standing by to fully support our civilian authorities. That is, we will not be on the front burner. We will have the police and other security apparatus that will be charged with our responsibility to guard our election. If we are called upon, definitely we will be more than ready to come in. But I just want to assure the public and members of the media here that while it is true that you will not see us in the forefront, we will not sit back and allow our democracy to be derailed. We will not allow anyone to vandalize what we call in the military our critical infrastructures, the airport, the central bank, the hydro, other critical infrastructures, because
His Defense Minister Daniel Zankan speaking during the week at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The Liberian National Police during the week charged and forwarded to court three individuals with several crime regions from fraudulent and theft property. Defendant David Waterspoon, Vera, Lana, and Mevina were arrested for duping individuals in Cowell, New Georgia community, Mosovado County. Speaking at the press conference at the police headquarters in Monrovia, police spokesman Moses Carter says defendant Waterspoon formed a false company in the name of giving citizens visa to travel to the United States of America. Here is Moses Carter.
David Witherspoon and Vera Leah were arrested by the Liberia National Police, acquainted with their Miranda rights, and duly represented by their counselor, investigators, and were colleagues. Accordingly, defendant legally David Witherspoon established a bogus company named Truth Cities Incorporated, located in New Georgia, Caldwell, behind the tree, has partners in the United States of America. And as such, he will help his victims get visa to travel to the United States of America. In furtherance of defendant Witherspoon's criminal network he established, he ensured that the above named victims and several other victims that have been reluctantly paid money ranging from $520 United States dollars to $1,250. It was established during preliminary investigation, members of the press and the public, that the Truth Cities Incorporated organization, or United States-based organization, is a limited liability company incorporated and is located in Caldwell in an attempt to verify and validate the authenticity of the perceived fake documents issued to the above mentioned. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in view of the foregoing facts and circumstances, background inquiries, defendants' partial admittance statements, coupled with physical evidence, receipts, fake certificates, fake notary stamps, fake invitation letters. This investigation conducted by the Liberia National Police has resolved to charge defendant Liquidly David Wilsmore, alias Liquidly Wilsmore, with the commission of the crimes, criminal conspiracy, criminal solicitation, forgery, and theft of property in violation of Chapter 10, Section 10.4, Section 10.3, Chapter 15, Section 15.70, and 15.51, while co-defendants Nervina J. Blanco and Beryl Liam are charged likewise with the crimes criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation, and criminal conspiracy in violation of these chapters as named.
Kado said following their arrest and subsequent charge, the three defendants were forwarded to the Monrovia City Court of Judge Juma Jala. According to the police spokesman, the three defendants in question charge each of the citizen over $500 as eligibility fee. Yes, Mozakata. Once again.
The investigation reached out to the Hilton Milltown Hotel in New York City through its management so as to ascertain the facts of this organization's authenticity. And it might interest you, members of the press, to note that all efforts to establish the authenticity of this organization proved futile, as the organization is said to be a bogus organization operating in Liberia. These defendants are about to be charged to court in line with these charges as named in this press conference. We would like to use this medium, distinguished members of the press, to inform members of the public. This should serve as it was established during preliminary investigation, members of the press and the public, that the Truth Seekers Incorporated organization, or United States-based organization, is a limited liability company incorporated and is located in Caldwell in an attempt to verify and validate the authenticity of the perceived fake documents issued to the above mentioned victim. The investigation reached out to the Hilton Milltown Hotel in New York City through its management so as to ascertain the facts of this organization's authenticity. It might interest you, members of the press, to note that all efforts to establish the authenticity of this organization proved futile, as the organization is said to be a bogus organization operating in Liberia. These defendants are about to be charged to court in line with these charges as named in this press conference.
His police spokesman Moses Carter speaking during the course of the week. Let's now play you some Liberian traditional songs. This is our usual map of the show. we cannot play you some of the song now because of the technical fault. So let's go strictly to next development, and we'll come back. We'll play you most of the songs that we have here. Uh, okay. The strategic committee comprising of the members and stakeholders of the President of Liberia during the week petitioned Julius Konba as a consensus candidate to contest the upcoming President of Liberia presidency. Reading the petitions on behalf of the strategic stakeholders, the President of Liberia, Secretary General of the committees, Sewagba, says the PUL was established as an organization to advocate for the well-being of journalists in the country. She says since the ascendances of the current leadership headed by Charles Coffis and Daniel Yankona, the union have been divided as a result of their poor advocacy, an act that prompted their strategic stakeholder to petition Julius Kanumba for the presidencies of the President of Liberia. Here is Sewagba speaking. Doing this.
The main goal of the Press Union of Liberia has been to serve Liberian journalists, media and communication professionals, as well as institutions throughout the country. Considering an unprecedented upsurge in the membership over the last few years, the PUL has oversight obligation for handling issues arising from the practice of journalism and development in the face of mounting demand for quality and good taste of journalism across Liberia. Primarily, the PUL's role is to protect, defend, strengthen the rights of journalists and members of the union, as well as support professionalism and social responsibility for the development of the greater democracy and freedom of Liberia, but also to advocate for improved working conditions for all journalists in the country through negotiating with media employers relative to the salaries and other working conditions of journalists and media workers. During its pre-war status and immediately after the Liberian Civil War, the union remained one of the strongest voices advocating for democracy, human rights, social justice, press freedom, free speech, and expression, among other basic media related to site of value. Notwithstanding, in recent years, particularly from January 17 to present, the Press Union of Liberia continues to display a bleak or damaging image to the public by choosing the path of complete disconnect from its modus operandi. This has led the union into conflict, disunity, formation of fragmented media groups, abuse of public trust, poor unintended advocacy and leadership, reducing the union to a mere social club, neglecting the main role rather as the voice of the voiceless, staging needless engagement with selected individuals with no proven human rights and freedom, press freedom records, no innovation to get the union's headquarters up and protect the future of journalism in Liberia, among others, slothful performance. We are also of the strong view that the Press Union of Liberia urgently needs a new direction of development to address the manifest gaps of credibility, integrity, and dignity confronting the current leadership vis-a-vis our union. Now and therefore, we the members and stakeholders of the PUL having reflected, undertaking extensive constructive consultations and engagements across Liberia, do hereby officially petition Mr. Julius Kanumba as a consensus candidate for president in the ensuing PUL November 2022, highly acclaimed and respected as one of the brilliant, unwavering, towering, and top-notch journalists of our generation.
However, Madam Bad further as the President of Liberia draw closer to its 2022 election, there is need for civil society independent stakeholders to review the current membership role of the union. Here is Sewagba again.
Towards the impending November 2022 Congress, which would be occasioned by elections of new Corps of Officers, we as members and stakeholders of the Press Union of Liberia strongly believe both associate and full membership categories of the union must be thoroughly reviewed by an independent body involving credible, independent media and civil society actors. Such a flawed membership list cannot guarantee a certified, free, fair, and transparent elections in the journalist union. Transparent elections in the journalist union. National and global understandings. In light of the current desperate state of affairs of our nation and the imperatives to bring back its credibility, integrity, and dignity, we are of the strongest conviction that Julius Kanuba's leadership at the PUL is destined for greater heights through the restoration of an independent stance of the union, re-establishing public trust in the PUL, bringing back all the disenchanted members, innovating ideas through a strategic plan for the realization of a strong, vibrant, and developed media sector vis-a-vis the PUL.
Receiving a petition from the petitioner at the ceremony held at the William V. Student High School in Sinkot, Julius Kanuma lauded the stakeholders of the President of Liberia for the petition, though vowing to revamp the union if elected as the next president of the Presidium. He says the current Presidium has lost integrity as a result of the leadership failure to advocate for its members in Liberia. Here is Julius Kanumba speaking.
The union is the mother of all journalists, media workers, and communication practitioners, as well as media institutions and organizations in Liberia. I am exceedingly grateful and incredibly humbled by the petition by members and stakeholders of our union. Considering the weight and magnitude of the petition and the petitioners, I am obliged to have a definitive response, void of any delay. Because in times of institutional leadership crisis, change, delays can be dangerous and consequential. The Press Union of Liberia, as rightly stated in the petition, is a professional organization of journalists, media workers, and communication practitioners, founded in late 1964. It is grounded in the nationally globally value of democracy, which as an institutional arrangement of governance is underpinned essentially by freedom of the media, freedom of expression and speech. Since 1964, but until recently, the PUL has been a bulwark protecting, defending, and strengthening the rights of journalists, as well as supporting professionalism and social responsibility aimed at the betterment of Liberian journalists and media workers, and the full institutionalization of democracy in Liberia in the quest for inclusive national development. Therefore, the quest for new PUL leadership to promote and institutionalize the virtues of credibility, integrity, and dignity is valid and respectable. It is a quest grounded in the very essence of democracy, which is about rights of participation and opposition, or the expression of individual or collective preferences. Consequently, I, Julius Kuli Kanuba, do hereby unconditionally and wholeheartedly accept your legitimate petition for the presidency of the President of Liberia.
Meanwhile, Julius Kanumba, however, disclosed that he will build a new headquarters for the President of Liberia if he elected as its next president comes November of this year. Here is Julius Kanumba.
For us, we believe our union is confronted with significant challenges And unless we work to take back control of our union, the institution we call the Press Union of Liberia risks extermination and made the increasing patterns of institutional disengagement by members, but also of institutional decline and malaise. In accepting this petition, it is important to make clear the direction we intend to genuinely effectively take the Press Union of Liberia. In this regard, a bold program of reforms. In accepting this petition, it is important to make clear the direction we intend to genuinely and effectively take the Press Union of Liberia. In this regard, a bold program of institutional reforms and development bordering on 6 pillars are pertinent. First, under our leadership, we will institute a system of accountable leadership. We believe it is time for the Press Union of Liberia to meaningfully engage and evolve and provide members with projects and implementation activities and the associated financial costs and benefits. Secondly, our second program of reforms is impartial advocacy. Since 1964, the union has stood the test of times as an institution engaged in social activism for the public good, void of partiality, not until the recent few years. We need to bring back in the impartial advocacy stance of the union on issues involving journalists, media practitioners, and media entities, as well as nationally oriented issues that impinge upon political stability and economic development, such as poverty, inequality, and human insecurity in Liberia. Our third agenda for the PUL is the construction of the PUL headquarters. Since the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, the Press Union of Liberia was given 100,000 United States dollars meant for the construction of the headquarters project. From 2008 to present, that is in 2022, the Press Union is yet to construct its headquarters. The status of the 100,000 is known to us. Some of us, we've contributed to the debate. For us, in this particular campaign, and in this particular leadership structure, we believe that it is time that we move beyond the debates. So what we intend to do is to mobilize resources from the members of the union who will genuinely elect their officials to have the Press Union of Liberia headquarters constructed.
He's Julius Kanema, a presidential aspirant for the Press Union of Liberia presidency's November 2022. Let me play you this one from Professor James.
You take it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, Mama. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, where the rich or poor.
Sweet Kasawale, Professor John Dopo.
Why not pray for
John Dopo?
He can pray for long life, as long as they're living.
Hey, Aaron Taru, good morning, brother, for following all the way there from Dupo Road.
Power, if I know. It can make you
Ambassador Berman Johnson.
hey, just like a volcano, they pray to capsize. Sweet, sweet is our liver. No for go along. He won't be gay. Or a picture gay.
Yan domain.
Kiss our liver. Kiss our liver. Oh, sweet kiss our liver. No for go along. You take it from Peter today, or Paul will take it from you tomorrow, Mama. You take it from me right today, or Mother will take it from you tomorrow.
Credentials bar.
Papa, Papa, may your fever. Well, people to do you got to cry.
DJ's Premier. Augustine Musa.
Stand up for one person, it's a
Hamre Kane.
after me, less.
Good morning to all of you, and thank you for following us this morning. This is Freedom News Archive.
Sweet is our liver. Not for go alone, mama. You must be can eat it. That you can eat it. Good our liver. Sweet is our liver. Not for go alone. Human beings can eat it, all creatures eat it too. Sweet living is
Sweet cassava leaf never go alone.
When I pray for long fellow, they can pray for long life.
Sure.
The better we grow.
Anthony Davis, Washington from Carwell.
We'll take it from you tomorrow, mama. Hey,
Good morning, brother, and welcome to Freedom News Archive.
from you tomorrow. Fine, power is power. They can make you heavy.
Sure, power is fun. It can be heavy.
Looking like a crooked no, a way to capsize. Kesawalia, Kesawalia, mama, no for go alone.
Power sweet, oh.
Long fellow, they always bring a long life. As long as they living, the better we grow. My people.
But the beauty of it is not for one person, right?
For go alone.
Like Aaron Tadu is saying,
After not for one person, oh, it's a matter of time.
it is a matter of time, hard time, not for one person.
After is a lesson, yeah, brother, this ahead.
Sure. I love this song.
By the way, let where my way down. Feel me, yeah, whoa. I'm a brother, we up.
Hey, Prince Bobo. Yeah, see, Professor James Tupol. I play the other song. Professor James Tupol again.
Anything you do, oh, somebody will talk of you. You do good, you do bad, brother. Oh, yeah, somebody will talk of you.
That's the beauty of life.
Anything you do, oh, somebody will talk.
Anything you do, somebody must have to talk about you.
Somebody will talk of you.
What they're talking about is your negative part
Can't use the people.
or the negative issue reflecting on your soul.
If you don't want to spend the people,
So the best thing you can do, live your life the way you think that is best for you.
thought he was a man, and shall throw him down.
Is Bobo Akuwala.
Mongo thought he was a man, and shall throw him down.
Freedom FM correspondent all the way in Lofa County, Vonjaman City.
You drop me down, somebody will pick me up. Si a lo le que me o, que cola la voz. Mama.
Market thought it was the man, but gunshot brought him down. Watch out, PUL.
Somebody will. That's the way you drop me.
My Nemo.
They will pick me up. I'm a better way.
Those that claim that PUL for them, watch out.
It'll be oh, same thing you do to me, somebody will do your part. That's the way you drop me down, somebody will pick me up.
The comings of Julius Caliber into the political process of PUL.
Never mama we got to
Who's standing the weight of Julius Caliber?
same thing you do to me, somebody will do your part. That's the way you drop me down, somebody will pick me up.
Somebody will do it to you too.
Monday thought he was a man, find out.
What you brought him down Fansha, right? Aaron, you listen to this song?
Hey, for the anything you do, somebody will talk of you. You do what you do, my brother. Well, yeah, somebody will talk of you. Some say I'm ugly.
Helping the son that go straight to our development. Okay, let's go straight to our development. Liberty Party in battle chairman and current chairmen of the collaborating political party, Musa Hassan Belete, during the week, threatening to seize funds being raised in Grand Bassa County by Senator Yombling Kanga Lawrence in the name of the party. Speaking when he appeared on the Spoon Nighttime show, Belete says both Senator Kanga Lawrence and Senator Dillon were suspended by the party. As such, they have no authority to raise money in the name of the party. Here is Musa Hassan Belete.
Feel happy and say that normally get a Bassa vote, I beg them, let them look for quality. When you're looking for vice president, you got to look in the person's face and say, is this person prepared to be president on day one? Giving Waka A, which is a natural thing, his vice president has to be someone who is prepared to be president on day one. If that's the quality that he saw in Yombly and want to pick up to be vice president, that's okay. But if it is to say that he get a Bassa vote, Charles Bromsky has been more popular than a Bassa citizen. Go look at the history of the vote in 2017. Go look at the history of the vote in 2011. What are you talking? They need to start this. Right now, I'll be happy if that's their conclusion. But let them continue on that plan. I'm okay with that. It is not supported by the facts. What are the facts? She won 2 consecutive elections. One, she won on the strength of Charles Bromsky, the first one. The second one, she won on the strength of the CPP, which means United Party. You know how strong United Party is in Bassa? United Party never carried no candidate. ANC is very, very strong in Bassa. They never carried no candidate. Are you looking at the facts? And then we won only about less than 2,000 votes. They said that person popular. Let them go fool themselves. I didn't think we're not going in that race and got 7,000 votes from Westonga. The story will be different. And if you look at it overall, if it is to get a presidential seat, she got 40% of the vote in Grand Bassa. If you take that and project that for 2014, that's a negative 60%. Instead of getting a positive in Grand Bassa so that you can offset the other vote, you're going to be looking for vote in other countries to offset your loss in Grand Bassa. Election is about analysis. Election is about strategy. Your decision must be based on fact. That's a myth. How popular is Yombly in Bassa? What are you talking about? She almost lost an election. She won that election simply because there was 3 parties that did not put a candidate. Just imagine if UP had a candidate. UP is very, very strong in that country. If they had a candidate, ALP is there. ANC is there. Where would she be with 2,000 votes? Are you kidding me? I wish them luck, man. That's not my business. That United Party business. But for me, as chairman of CPP, it would be a good idea if Joseph Baga picked Yombly. That makes it easier for us.
At the same time, Musa Belete has blasted former Vice President Joseph Boakai for picking Senator Yombling Lawrence as his fire running mate. Let's play this one first before we. Okay, we cannot play that one again because we already played that. Okay. During the week, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Public Works, disclosed that it expected to embark on 100-kilometer road constructions in Bond County. Making this disclosures in Bond County during the week, Vice President Joel Taylor says the government, through the Ministry of Public Works, is undertaking 2 major road projects in this coming dry season. There is Vice President Joel Taylor.
There are 2 major road segments that we'll be doing in this coming year. Totota, Sanoye, Bonota, Phoebe Junction. 100 kilometers of road. The PPCC arrangements are already ongoing. I think we'll be picking someone to come and do that project. I hope by the time we get into the dry season, that road project will start. 175 years. That is the food belt of Bond County. There are a lot of things coming back there, but we can't get it to the market. Also, there will be another segment of the road from Ganta Parking all the way to the falls. That's another segment that is now being assessed to know how many kilometers of road. Also, the Teasley Mission Road, I built a school there when I was senator from elementary to 9th grade. Each class had 2 classrooms. I think that school is running. The problem there was the road and housing, because the teachers who working there got to stay in Sarala, which is really difficult. But at least we are coming now. The president was on that road and he agreed that they will add it to the project. So in terms of development for roads for Bon County, plus the Manga Lofa Bridge Road, all of you know that one is already ongoing. So in the road sector, these are the things that will be done. In the educational sector, we have 2 multilateral schools, the Bofair, EJ Yans. One of the international NGOs have agreed that they will outfit them for what, when you say multilateral, it means they should have skill training. So they will renovate these 2 facilities and put training for carpentry, training and production. Because if you are looking for chairs for Bonkan, you should go to Morovia. If that facility is here that the people learning and producing, that can be a way of getting money there. So the lower bumper will be EJ Yancey and here. They are also looking at all the high schools to put laboratories, because that was an issue in the wax. That when the children haven't seen a laboratory, they don't know. So you hear they say children fail, but the thing you know, you will not learn it. So under the education ministry, that's what they are doing. There's also a major school that will be done, a major school project here. If some of you know the Dwayne Madam Salif Center, 3 of those schools were done, almost 800,000. One was done in Prince William. We went up for the
She's Vice President Joel Taylor speaking in Bon County recently when she paid a special visit in your county. Let them play you Harrison again.
If I be gonna use that out there, nobody business but mine. Same thing you do to me, somebody will do your back.
Hey, Marian Pearson. Good morning, our regular follower.
I brought it down.
Prince Bubba of Washington from Car City. Cedric Lamine. Washington for Kesselly Boulevard.
Was a man,
Rose Russell.
I see where you drive me down, somebody will pick me up.
Why you watching us is not mentioned.
See, I don't like me,
Monkey thought he was a man, but Fanshawe brought him down. Watch out, PUL. The president of Liberia. November. Sorry, my name. Oh, hey, Tasha Murphy.
Simply you do to me, somebody will do your part. Let's see where you drop me down. Somebody will pick me up.
Somebody will definitely bring you down too. I wish I can speak you a manner. This is very deep.
See where you drop me down, somebody will pick me up. Mother thought he was a man, Fanshawe brought him down. Mother thought he was a man, Fanshawe brought him down.
Simon buying. And veteran James Vanny.
I'm a brother never come and we got to well, oh mama.
Nismon Dene. Thank to all of you for watching us.
Same thing you do to me,
somebody will definitely do it to you. This is a song that will carry home on this program, Freedom News Archive. It's 1 hour program
somebody will talk of you
that highlights major news that we follow during the week. Well, let's say thank you for all of you that follow us.
You are drunk now.
We are our Facebook page.
To spend the people say you are
through the radio.
Mama.
You Okay, join us next week, Saturday, from 5:30 to 6:30.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, it's Murray Tukley.
They thought he was a man. Fine shot, throw him down.
Fashion Jean, say you bunny. Good morning, my brother. Hey, Professor James Dupo contributing to the show. Huh?
Every marry, your mama.
If you marry, but hey,
Winners of the bamboo, you will be there on the dice.
show. If we Monday show this morning, we won't go home. But time is our number one enemy here.
Every money of winners of the bamboo, you will be there on the dice.
So we had to switch to our theme song
Then you say, my goodness,
and close the program.
what do you owe? Then you say, well, mama. So ya puede wo, kama puede wo. Oye nebio, umayone manga puede ote. I don't want any pretty woman. I want one with plenty of money. But a pretty woman to troublesome, you will always not writing me. Was I used to be so beautiful? But a little ugly character, yeah. I don't want any pretty woman. I want one to cherish of me. Like my little mother, yeah. If you marry you, yeah. In the morning, in my tablets.
Every day in the morning in my tablet. Let's bring this song down and go strictly to our development that will close us with today's programs.
Every married father woman, yeah.
Like I said, if you mind the ugliness of the bamboo, you will beat it until it dies. If you mind the sweetness of this show, you won't leave until tomorrow morning the next day. But time is our number one enemy here, right? So as it stands, we like to say, or we are breaking the curtain down of the show. But before we go, yeah, I once again have a headline story that we carry onto the program. Defense Minister Daniel Zangan during the week cautioned politicians against allowing their Balagai wearing military uniforms at political rally. U.S. ambassadors near Monrovia alerted the Liberia National Police for successfully apprehending Davis Waterspoon and two others who took several citizens in for American visas in the Coward, New Jersey community. The strategic thinker comprising of the members and stakeholders of the President of Liberia during the week petitioned Julius Kanema as a consensus candidate to contest the upcoming PUR presidency. Wherefore, unto this conditions, how we like to go home, but before go home, we'd like to caution you next week. Join us, and we're bringing more details of our next week's stories. For now, I'd like to say goodbye and join me next week, Saturday.